have to delete anything. Go. So, we need to print our mix from the SD9 over to Pro Tools. And I've got the world's best mix all up and going. In fact, it's so good, the speakers are turned off. Anyway, here's the mix. And the way it works is that by default, when you session structured, all of your channels are going to group 12. Group 12 is the stereo group, and it's the stereo bus, okay? So you can see my mixes there. We need to route that to MADI, right? MADI, a couple of MADI buses to go over to Pro Tools. So what you got to do is grab the screen so you're looking at your output side, right, the right side of the console. Select either by touching the fader or soloing it, or touching here and select the master channel. And zoom in if you need to. You're going to need to click on the output section, which is the bottom of this. And this is where the group is going. And there's a little output button. So you go outputs. And by default, it automatically goes to outputs line 1 and 2 of local. That's driving your local speakers by default. But we also need to send that mix over to MADI to record it. So we go MADI. And you can pick a bus. You know, most students pick MADI 1 and 2. You could pick something else if you want. For the sake of this example, let's pick 17 and 18. So I'll go MADI 17 and 18, and notice it's a stereo pair. So now it's going to leave 17 and 18. We got to go over to Pro Tools and do the other half of this, which you may already know how to do. You need to make yourself a stereo. So the slow version of this is track, new, stereo audio track. So we make that sound at the end here. Before you do anything else, turn it down, because once you engage input, you can have feedback loop, because it's going to could potentially feed back into an input on your console. So turn it down. I often mute it to be safe. Oh, we're in an all group here. I got to turn that all group off. So it's muted. And now I'm going to source it from MADI 17 and 18, because that's what I bused it to. And this one, particularly oddly enough, it's coming out of bus 1 and 2. If you want to hear this back, you're going to have to send it somewhere afterwards. But if I put it in input, and I should be able to press play right now and sync source. I'm having a sync issue. Let's ignore the sync source. I press play. I need to rewind. Here we go. I just opened the session. Here we go. And why isn't it working? It's faders are down. Ah, dude, earlier when I turned that fader down, I turned them all down because the group was on. So I'm sorry. Did not rehearse this video whatsoever. Anyway, bad me. In input, muted. There it is. So the channels, of course, are feeding the console. The console's feeding the stereo bus, and MADI is coming back to this input. And to record this, of course, I just arm the track and record it. I'll have to stop to do that. Do name the track after the mix, so it's not named audio 1, so you actually know what the track is. And when you're done, the audio will be there. And I have other videos to show you how to export it if that's required by the assignment. Okay, excellent. Bye-bye.